All right, viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Coach's Desk. I am your host, Coach Minze, and in this video, we will be taking it from track side. All right, and we have a very special guest that will be joining us in this episode, and we'll be talking to an international athlete. Yes, one who represents Canada, World Championship and World Relays gold medalist. Yeah, people, I want you to put your hands together and help me welcome Brendon Rodney. What's up, Brendon Rodney?
Yeah, man, everything good.
Yeah, man, everything blessed, man. Why? Me just said the man get the Jamaican accent real quick and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's indeed a pleasure for us to have you here on the Coach's Desk. And we're going to be talking some track and field. We're going to be finding out some stuff about you. And to begin with, how is everything? How are your family doing?
Our family is great. I have a little son. He's enjoying his time. So, that's all that we can, give thanks for.
All right, definitely. And I want you to tell the viewers and the subscribers, how did you get involved in track and field? Because I mean, probably growing up in Canada, you'd have had the opportunity to do like other sports, but why track and field?
Um, you know, it was a thing where we just kind of just wanted to miss school. Um, Overseas high school meets are during the week, whereas in Jamaica it's on the weekend. So, we get to miss school and, you get to meet girls and all of those different things. So that was really why track and field was one of the things that we, just picked up and, did.
Okay, straight to the point. Hey, tell about the girls, them, girls will make you do a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
All right, so so you started doing it at high school. When did you really start to get serious about your track and field? I heard you talk about the girls doing it for fun, miss classes and all of that, but
Yeah.
was there ever a time you got serious about what you were doing?
Just when I was my final year, I was looking for a scholarship to go to a school in the US. So I thought, I have to take it serious. I played a lot of other sports, basketball, football, and that is soccer, of course. Um, so I just, put those to the side and then took track and field very serious that year for the 1 year. And then from there, I realized that, I can, do this at the next level.
All right, interestingly. So, in terms of your football and your basketball talent, was there ever a time you rep your school, or you thought about going back to those sports when you were doing tracks?
Always, because, first of all, those are the big money sports. But everybody loves the team sports. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they hold a dear place in my heart to this day. So for me, track and field is fun, but you know, team sports are where everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be the NBA All Star or playing in the Champions League for football. So getting those opportunities would be dear to me. But I'm blessed with track and field and the opportunities that it's given me. So I have to give thanks.
All right. Before we get into the other question, which team you rep?
Oh,
Which world club team you rep?
Manu.
Jesus, please, that best place there right now. United we stand. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, man. I'm my club that
All right.
But in terms of your track career, which event were you doing in those early years? Or
No,
did you start to specialize, or you were just dabbling all about?
I was a high jumper because, like I said, I was coming from playing basketball and playing football. So for me, it was just about my ability to jump high. So that's why I did high jump, and to me it was an easy event. Um, so that's why I did it. And then eventually I got into the running and the sprinting later down. Seeing somebody run, and I was like, oh, I have to be faster than this person. And that was really how I got into sprinting. I watched somebody basically get run down, and I was like, if I was there, we wouldn't get run down. And from there, just took over.
Yeah, man. All right, that is good. So you segue from high jump into sprinting, but talk to us about the transition from high school into college. You said you went to college in the United States. Talk to us about that experience, your track experience, and what did it mean for you moving over to the United States?
I mean, I think it's a big accomplishment. A lot of persons, their dream is to get a scholarship. Whether it be somebody from Canada, somebody from the US, or somebody from Jamaica. Um, so that alone in itself was an accomplishment to go to a Division 1 school, and it's a dog eat dog world in the US. So you have to come out there swinging, ready to run every week, and it taught me a lot of life lessons on being prepared for the task at hand, and getting ready, and a lot of other things, in the actual school atmosphere, as well as just not being on the track and
Okay, that's great to know that you'd have learned some life lesson. But walk us through some of the exciting and interesting performances that you'd have had throughout NCAA life.
I mean, my first year I went to indoor nationals, which is, only 16 of the best. I mean, now we see a lot of the younger Jamaicans, on the big scene winning indoor nationals, but at the time I went, and I'm really not that old, but that was
Yeah.
2012, 2013, and 2013 was my first indoor season. So what? That's 10 years now. Um, where you know, very few persons that weren't American were at NCAA indoor nationals. So that was a big feat for me, being a freshman at the indoor nationals competing against the best. Um, I ran 19 when I was in college, so sub 20. That was in my final year. I was number one in the world, um, that year as well. What else did I do? Man, I think I've done everything. Run some great 4x4 legs, where I never dreamed of even running 400. Run 45 out of lane one. So, when you look at the standard of sprinting, I mean, guys know I running 45, over hurdles, but um, 4, 5, 6 years ago, that wasn't it. 45 running out of lane one in college was, amazing. And I just did it just because, it was part of training. Ran probably 44 flat, 4x4 legs, 43.9. Done some great things in college, but I think, competing in college, everybody does great things. And then it's the real hard part is when you become a professional.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm interested to know, and I'm certain the viewers and subscribers out there would definitely want to know, because there's this argument of the collegiate system, quote unquote, burning out the athletes. Was there ever a time you felt like your central nervous system would have gone through too much and you just wanted it to finish, so you just done with track and field?
For me, never. But I mean, I remember running 55 races my senior year. I went to pen relays and ran 4x1, 4x2, 4x4 heats and finals for both of them. So that's 6 races in what, 4 days. So me running 55 races, and I still ran 19 twice that year. Won Canadian nationals, broke the championship record, went to the Olympic Games, and I was the first person. Like, I ran the fastest ever in the first round, and I was the first person out. So, you know, maybe that if I ran 53 races and got to the Olympics, I would have 3 more races to make it. But I also got an Olympic medal that year in the 4x1. So you have to give thanks where, you're able to do amazing things even after that. So I don't think the burnout thing bothered me. I do see it with athletes, but I think part of it is that they're in high pressure situations where part of the burnout is a mental burnout more than the actual physical burnout, where they're pressured to run certain races or do certain things in order to maintain their scholarship or maintain, their status.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I wasn't in the SEC, yeah. So my conference was a lot easier, and that allowed me to take away some of the pressure until we got to the regionals and the NCAA nationals.
Right, definitely. So, if I'm understanding you well, which I do understand, but I just want for emphasis, people, it's not only about the physical wear and tear. That has a lot to do with it, yes. But the burnout that I think most people referring to is the mental burnout, where, as you rightfully said, the pressure that the mind goes under when they have a great expectation, so to speak,
Yeah, yeah.
and they have to deliver, as you said, to maintain scholarship and so forth. So, I mean, for me, I think persons oftentimes use that term very loosely about
Yeah.
athletes being burnt out, but it's more about mental burnout rather than the physical. Because if your mind says your body can do it, then it can. You know what I mean?
I
So,
mean, and you know, I might people may hate me for saying this, but most of the burnout that it occurs with those athletes, the world beaters that leave Jamaica,
mhm,
happens in Jamaica. You know, the high school system is a way to burn them out faster than the collegiate system. Whereas high school athletes train a lot harder here in Jamaica than they do when they go to the States because we race a lot, you know,
mhm.
in the collegiate system. So you might only train 3 days a week once you're in season and you just race, 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 race. Whereas you still train your 5 days a week here because or four days a week because you race on Saturdays. Whereas when you're a collegiate, you race during the week as well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, depending on the meet.
But we
So
see, but when you look at both end of the spectrum, Brendan, you'd see where in Jamaica people talk about that. In US collegiate system they speak about that as well.
mhm.
And I think that one of the most salient point coming out of that is the amount of runs that you have to do in the specific amount of time or days. Because you have persons who would have gone through our system, the high school system, and still gone on to have an illustrious career in track and field, like a Veronica Campbell. She has always been a champs. You have Usain Bolt. He has always been a champs. And a matter of fact, he has been running an event that persons are very fearful of, which is the 400 meters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and then you'd have persons on the collegiate system in the United States who would have gone through the rigors of that system and still, to date, running the track.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think
I,
the both system might be rigid,
hmm
but then again, in an interview, I heard the coach of the Arkansas championship team even talking about the plethora of jumpers that they have over there, which are from Jamaica and Kingston College to be exact.
hmm
And the coach is saying, because he used to come to champs to watch and recruit. So he's basically saying that, I mean, I believe that it is champs that gives them that mental toughness
Yes.
so that they can come to the NCAA and compete in pressure situations. And VCB also said that as well. So I don't know if I agree with it totally, because both end of the spectrum have their pros and their cons.
Oh, definitely. And I agree where the mental toughness comes from, and
Mm-hmm.
you know the ability to go through both systems.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the world beaters, and it all depends on the system you go to. And I wouldn't call any names of the
Yeah,
schools
yeah.
because, well, we can use Arkansas because they've shown great success with the Jamaican athletes, and that's
Right.
from when Veronica Straight come back up to Akira
Omar
Newton,
McLeod and some, yeah.
all of them. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they race sparingly,
Okay.
so you can see that they race to run fast, but they race sparingly. Because if you look at Britton Wilson, who broke the American record, her
Mm-hmm.
first 400 or first her only 400, I think, was at the SEC championships, or
Mm-hmm.
was before that. I think she ran 800 at SEC championships. She broke the 600 record, but she never really raced 400 that much. So you can see where they're able to do a lot of things, but still in that specialty, they're not solely focused on it. Akira, same thing. She might
Mm-hmm.
have heard us only 2 times this year,
Right.
2 competitions. She ran some 60s, but it's sparing at the same time. It's not the LSU where you race every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the history of the Jamaicans that go to LSU versus the history of the Jamaicans that go to Arkansas, who lasts longer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So it's not.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so like the burnout does come from partially what they do in high school, but it's
Mm-hmm.
amplified based on where they go in college.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? So you can get the best of both worlds because like Akira went to Excelsior. She
Mm-hmm.
probably didn't race that much, but she broke the world junior record when she was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I watched Akira train. I've trained with Akira, and I know how she is, so I can call her name because we've talked about this before, and I think that no matter where she is, because she was at Baylor before and she ran well. She won NCs at
Mm-hmm.
Baylor. No matter where she is, she's gonna do well. And there's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
some people that are just super talented that
Yes.
they that a goat could train them and they run fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right about that. She's extremely talented, for sure. There's no doubt about that. If somebody who does not know about track and field and see her run, they will right ahead say she's
Yeah,
very
man.
talented. Now, in terms of you finishing up college at the NCAA setting, what happened for you after that? Did you go into a professional setting? Did you sign a professional contract there? And what happened really?
Well, I mean, like I said, that in my final year, I ran 19 twice. Um, was a world leader indoor.
Mhm.
I had some little downfalls. My mother had actually had emergency brain surgery right before the indoor championship, so I had to fly to Canada and fly back the night before I ran. So, I think those are things played a little bit on my
Mhm.
performance, but we still give thanks because I competed. Basically, the guys right now that are the best in the world are the guys that I competed against week in week out when I was in
Mhm.
college. Coleman, Nathaniel Mitchell Blake, a few other people. Um, but those are some big names. But yeah, I signed a contract with Puma straight out of college. I spent a year with my college coach. Still ran well, PB'd in the 100, ran 20 flat in the 200 at the Canadian trials that year. But after 2017 World Championships, I made a choice, and I moved to Jamaica. So I am now, well, I'm still here. So it's at 6 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
27 till now. I'm here in Jamaica training in a professional setting. Doing a lot of things differently. But I think I went to another Olympics after. But I think that it was time to move on out of certain college settings. I'm not saying I didn't have success. I had great success there, and
Mhm.
I'm thankful. Me and my college coach still communicate. It's like a father figure to me. But I thought the professional setting where we were missing some minor but important details,
Mhm.
that would have been a big step. So I
So
think I've
yeah, man, continue.
now I think I've now realized what my issues were. I mean, it took me 5 years, but
Yeah.
I've realized now, and I think the tables have turned now that I think I'm more mature in the sport and better understanding of sorry about that of what to do and what not to do.
Okay, so the whole setting that you were in, that why you choose Jamaica? Because you probably could have gone to any other coach. There are top coaches in America. Why did you choose to come to Jamaica?
Well, at the time, like I said, I was sponsored by Puma, so there's a lot of top coaches in America, but they're affiliated with a shoe brand. There was no real coach at the time. There was no coaches affiliated with Puma, so it was a decision that I had to make based on one, who I am sponsored by, and two, where I think that I'll get the best of treatment and um, facilities. Well, maybe not even facilities, but best coaching and all of those other things.
Okay,
Um,
fair enough. So in
Yeah.
terms of being in Jamaica now, what have you gravitated to? What you like about the island? You know what I mean? Because we all hear you talking the dialect. You know, you have the patois pot.
uh, really and truly, I don't do much. I stay at home or I go home, but of course, everybody wants to go to a beach or a river or um, maybe a party, get some food, every Friday or something like that. You might get some jerk chicken on the side of the road or something like that. But you know, it's nothing out of the norm for me because I grew up eating the same food. I grew up listening to the same music. I grew up basically living the same lifestyle. So for me, really in Jamaica, the greatest thing is that it's warm all year round. If you know about Canada, you know we have snow, and snow is cold.
Definitely. So you're sure you don't have a Jamaican connection?
Yeah, man. Well, like I say, my mother and my father are Jamaican.
Oh.
Yeah.
We know say it
Father,
wouldn't come so easy, because you speak the patois too easy, man. So there you go, people. This man, his parents are Jamaican. Don't let him fool you.
so and I spent most of my years, summers and stuff like that in Jamaica, Martha St. Mary, um, Kingston, just those places, because that's where my mother and father are from.
Yeah. So it was an easy transition, man. It wasn't
Yeah,
hard. It was
yeah,
a no-brainer.
yeah. My father still, has his house in Falmouth, still
Mm-hmm.
there. So it's not like, I don't have family or friends out here. I just, get in my car, drive on the tour and go see my dad or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. All
My
right.
uncle.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's good to know that you have a connection. So we hit the nail on the head. That's why things have been so great for you. In terms of your first world tournament, tell us what was that like?
So my first Worlds was 2015. That was a great experience. I mean, I remember first round, me and Julian Ford came down on the line around 20.1. He ran 20.15. I ran 20.18. And that year he had won Intercal Championships. Um, Rashid Dwyer was competing against him from 2013. He had run 19.8 that year at Pan Am Games. So, you know, it was just a great just to be exposed against the world's best, competing against them and seeing the difference in everything that we do. For me, it was about being slim and fast, and those guys are all about muscle and power. So you could see the difference, but you know there's not one way to achieve the goal, and that's what I realized. And just being at the World Games, you get to see and learn so much
Right,
just from
right.
being there. Not even you don't even have to interact with anybody, but just by watching and just observing what's going on, um, you learn so much about professional being a professional and professionalism.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so the guys who win medals, you see like there's so much similarities in how they behave, how they warm up, how they act, how they interact with their coaches, all of those things. There's so much similarities in with those guys that medal versus the ones that don't.
Okay. And in well, many people look at you, Brendan, as a what they'd call it a relay bully. Because when you have the baton in your hand, man, it's like you feel like a super human, and you have done quite pretty well where it comes on to being a part of a relay setup. In Rio de Janeiro,
Mm.
you won a bronze medal. Tokyo, a silver. Last year, gold. 2015 bronze. And at the World Relays, you got a gold as well in the 4x2.
Yeah.
I know that you don't want to be dubbed as a relay bully, but talk to us about what made those runs special for you.
I mean, as much as somebody wants to complain about a relay, it's only 3 medals per event. So if you can't get it in the 100 or the 200, and you can get it in the relay, it's still an achievement. And no one can take that from you. So I look at it both as a positive and something to drive me to more success. Um, 2017, I think, was the year we won the 4x2, and we basically, yeah, I think we have the second fastest time all time in the 4x2, other than the Jamaican world record. So I think all of those performances are next to none. You know, they're great achievements, and you know, even though both has what, nine, I think something like that, nine golds.
Yeah,
He takes the
thereby.
relay just as serious as he takes his 100 and 200, and it's part
Absolutely.
of his legacy. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what a lot of young athletes don't understand, that not because it's just a team event and maybe people might frown upon it. It's still part of your legacy, and that's why he was so great. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
took the same approach to every race that he ran, and those are the things that I look at, and I say, you know, if you're gonna run a race, you gotta just take it as, you know, you want to do your best.
Yeah. I think I overheard a quote from a saying from Bolt. I think I'm not certain if we were watching the television, and like him say, "Go, Asafa, go!" And
Mhm.
after they won the race, he was like, "Yo, like when I played my back around a back stretch, and I wanna go out with around there." So you're perfectly right. The man take it the race serious. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So and for persons who believe that there's no reward in the relays, I you can correct me if I'm wrong, that your shoe sponsors definitely have things to say to you, on a special note when it comes on to you winning a global medal, whether it is in a relay or not, right?
yeah. I mean, uh, you get bonuses. I mean, I remember last year we went to the Nike house after we won World Championships, and they were giving away like Jordans and um, I think I want to say Ace of Spades, a bottle of champagne, which is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can go into a club in the US and that's $1,000. They gave away Travis Scott Jordans, and they gave away everything just because we won. You know, and that
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really matter that we won in the relay; we still won
Oh,
something.
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
giving it away. And then of course, you know, money on top of it. So monetarily, you know, you get paid for every medal the same, basically similarly.
Mm-hmm. So young athletes out there, don't I don't want you to feel anyway if you are not able to run an individual event but you're thrust into a relay pool. You have to go ahead and compete with pride, because there are a lot of benefits as well.
And And you know what? It's a motivator, you know, just to be at the games and know that you made the team and the relay, and now you can say, all right, this is my first step. The next
Mm-hmm.
step is to make it individual. The next step is the middle. Next step is to do this, you know? So it's always a way to look at it, like progress, you know.
Yeah.
Last year, you're watching it from the games and from your house. I remember watching 2012 Olympics, you know, at work. You know, I was working in a hospital at the time. I remember watching '08 Beijing on the floor because I didn't want to miss the races, and you know that Beijing is 12, 13 hours ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So I would sleep beside the TV just so I could hear the gun go off if a race was going to start or something, you
Wow.
know. So I remember doing those things, and then now to see 2016, I'm there, you know, in the Olympic final with the
Yeah,
Olympic
yeah.
medal, you know. So those are things that you can look at, even though it's the case of just, you know, being a relay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Positive stuff there. What was it like having the likes of Andre DeGrasse as a teammate on those 4x1s?
I just cool. I mean, it's it would be like asking Asafa how he deals with both. I think when you're friends with somebody, it's so much harder to answer the question because um, what you may see him as,
Mm-hmm.
I would see him as something different because me and
Right.
him are friends and we interact in certain ways. But it's cool, you know. I think I always say this: Andre is the best finisher in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the stick beside him, you're gonna lose. And it's just that, and it doesn't just come down to him just being a great finisher in a relay. He's a great finisher in all of his events. So, and it's not that I'm saying this because I don't think I can beat him. I wholeheartedly believe I can beat him, but I
Mm-hmm.
tip my hat to his performances and how he does, he handles pressure. And I think he's a great athlete. Um, he's he's a klutz. No, honestly, like he's cool, but like he's just like he's ditzy too. Like so, as a friend, I'll be like, come on, Jay, like you got to get it together. And be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's really laid back, and it's it's very hard to find an athlete that's so laid back under the times of so much pressure.
Yeah, definitely. And you know the whole Jamaican track and field spirit, they like, they like Andre DeGrasse. You know, when Bolt was leaving, everybody was saying that Andre is gonna be taking over. He had some
Yeah,
setbacks in terms of injuries, which happened in the sport, but I mean, he's likable by the Jamaicans. So
yeah, man. Like I said, he's a great guy. Like you're going to like him, but what I like about him is not what the world likes about
yeah,
him because
yeah,
the
yeah.
world doesn't know him personally. You get
Mhm.
so like if I was just an athlete that was just on a team with him, then I would probably be like starstruck. But I mean, I remember us sharing rooms in Beijing
Mhm.
2015 when he won his first medal, and as a friend, I was like, oh, it motivated me to do better. But I also cried because I was happy for him.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, it's not really what is it like to be on a team with him? It's more like, yo, this is my friend and I want to see him do well, regardless of, what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Talk to us about this season now. It's a world championship season. You have started out running some 60 meters, some 100 meters. I think you'll be running the 200 meter this weekend.
I thought I was running the 200. I'm not too sure. I think coach just kind of changed his mind on me last minute because this morning he said I'm going to go back in the 100.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
yeah, I was planning to do that. But I mean, I think the season has went well. I had a lot of success in the early 60 meters. Not so much right now in the 100, but I think it's just about the race planning and getting things, back together and sharpening it up. So we had a little lull with, missing training and some other little things that we had to do, you know, off the track, because track is not just running, you have to have a professional side. So, the business part. But um, season looks well. I'm in great shape. Just gotta stay healthy. Then I think I can get back to personal best performances, and for me that's world class. Because once again I've run sub 20 already, so just to get back there would do well. World final, of course, and hopefully world medal. That's the goal, or multiple world medals.
Yeah, man, that sounds pretty good. So in terms, so your preparation is going well, and that seems good because I've been following the races that you have been running. Like you said, you started out well in the 60 meters. You have been running some 100 meters. Um, I mean, it's all always about trusting the coach and
Yeah,
you playing your part. And you have a very good coach. People, if you don't know, he's training at Sprint Tech. Yeah, man, that's GC Foster, my alma mater. You know what I mean? So that's where he's training, and he has a very good coach. So I mean, he has been here for a while, so I think he trusts the coach. So I know what the coach can do, and I'm
yeah,
certain that you are aware of that too. So you have to just be patient with yourself as well, and with the progress. And I believe that you can do well. You know what I mean? Um,
absolutely.
especially on the half lap. I think that your specialty, right?
Yeah, man, that's a specialty.
Yeah,
But
man.
sir, um, 100 is the glamour event, and
Y-
really and truly, really and truly, in track and field and in life, you have to want to compete against the best to be the best. So, I'm trying to dabble in it this year and see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, well, I was looking forward to see you compete in that half lap on Saturday, but if your coach said 100, you have to go 100, boss.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
we'll see. I mean, tomorrow, because he was saying, 100 meter, but we're doing 200 work tomorrow morning to prepare. So I don't know.
it's
Maybe
still undecided.
pick my teammates. I don't know.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, if we go half lap, then we can look for some great things tomorrow. 200, of course, that's my specialty. It's my child. I love it.
Yeah.
So we will definitely look for some special things happening this year, and I think I'm ready to shock the world again.
All right, people, you hear it here first on the coach's desk. Brendon Rodney is about to shock the world this season. You know what I mean? We have reached to the end of the program in this one, Brendon. But I definitely appreciate you coming here. Really, really appreciate it. I enjoy the chat. You know what I mean? And fans out there would have gotten to know a little bit more about you. And this is what we do here on the coach's desk. We try to get the athletes out there, because sometimes it's all about training and the little social aspect of the life sometimes, especially interacting with the fan in this media, is sometimes put aside. But I'm happy that you were able to accept the invitation to be here. Any final words that you want to share to a young athlete, to share to some, you want to shout out anybody, you can go ahead and do so.
I mean, just believe in yourself and have fun, because at the end of the day, people are gonna put pressure upon you, but it's all about you. So just enjoy it and have as much fun as you can and believe in yourself.
All right, so there you have it, people. World Championship gold medalist Brendon Rodney from Canada. Yes, but him have a little spark of Jamaica in him, so you don't know it good. So thank you very much again, Brendon. I hope that you'll have a tremendous season, wonderful season. I hope that you stay injury free, and do the best that you can. Continue to believe in yourself and your coach and your teammates, and definitely the sky's the limit.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah, man. So people, thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here as well, watching this stream. I want you to stay safe, and until next time, people, we hope to have another big one. Peace out.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.